Hi everyone, Happy New Year. Welcome to another episode of the Expansive Thoughts podcast. My name is Euan Thum.
Hi everyone, Happy New Year. I am Batrisha from the Better You podcast.
What a great start to the year, Bashisha. Even though it has only been 3 days, we have to start off with a lot of positivity, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And today's episode, we will be reflecting on our goals for 2025.
Yeah, so in case anyone missed out, we actually did 2 continued episodes on our 25 goals in 2025. You can find them on our Spotify. Today, what we're going to do is we'll be doing a very quick review on perhaps the top 5 achievements out of the ones that we managed to achieve, all of the 25 goals that we set in 2025. And perhaps after that, we'll share a little bit more about what we look forward to in 2026.
I feel it's so important to not only reflect on our previous goals, but also be accountable and learn through that process for the new goals this year.
Yep, very much. And circling back to the idea where we have to reflect what happened in 2025 in the first place, because a lot of people, they set some goals and then the year is done, regardless of whether or not they achieve it, they sort of just ignore it and leave it behind. But I feel like it's so important for us to sort of reflect back and we think about what has gone well and what hasn't. Yeah, and that helps us with our goal setting for the upcoming year.
100%, I totally agree on that.
So perhaps now we just take turns sharing a little bit about our top 5 achievements from 2025. Would you like to start first?
I think mine is honestly super basic. And if I were to do a small reflection on how my 2025 year went, there were so many humps along the way. And if you followed me on my episodes, you will know that there were some changes in my life. I'll be completely honest, that has affected the achievements of my goals. But I think I want the listeners to know that just because that happened and I couldn't achieve so many goals as I wish, it's okay because I've learned about myself more than I ever did. The first goal that I'd like to share is definitely podcasting. I think this honestly wasn't a bucket list that I thought of throughout my whole life. But when 2025 started and then me and Euan, we had a group call with our housemates, that really just struck me hey, I just want to better myself as a person and also inspire others. So that was the first goal that I achieved at the very start. The second one is, I talk about this a lot, journaling. If you followed me on my other episodes about, heartbreaks and also me moving back to Malaysia, what has helped me throughout this whole year in 2025 is definitely journaling. It's a great way, if you haven't already started to pursue journaling, to just take a pause and think about how you're feeling and why you're feeling. And from there, it's a good way for you to explore maybe certain ways to improve or better manage the way you approach things. And the third one is actually quite unexpected. So I started my own YouTube channel, but not the kind of YouTube channel that I was looking for. So what I had in mind when I did this bucket list for 2025 about YouTube channel was doing a skincare channel. But because of requests from my listeners, they wanted me to start my own YouTube channel for my podcast. The reason is because not many people have Spotify Premium. And I took that as an opportunity, to make it more accessible for my listeners. So my YouTube channel for now is Better You Podcast, but hopefully in the future, I do start my own skincare or maybe my own lifestyle channel. I don't know. The big one I would say is visiting Italy was on my bucket list. It's always been a dream of mine to visit Italy when I was younger, and Italy was a place that I really wanted to visit with my other half. But during 2025, that year, I ran alone. It was such a great milestone for me because that adventure made me realize that, hey, I don't need another person to achieve this goal with me. Instead, I can just achieve it myself.
Oh, that sounds so like a strong woman moment for you.
Empowering. The last one is never stop loving myself in 2025. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, I think that was the biggest highlight and the main theme in 2025 for me, because everything that I achieved, all these small bucket lists or even the big ones, even in my own daily life, like my career, my own personal life, I feel like one thing that I never stopped was loving myself. So I'm really proud of me for that.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. You should give yourself an applause.
Thank you.
I think like it's amazing to hear coming from you and how you reflected, and I can't help but somewhat see similarities in like the kind of achievements that your top achievements and my top achievements actually. Because like for example, you started off sharing a bit more about you doing going into podcasting, and actually that is one of the ones I wanted to share as well. So I'll talk about it first. At the beginning of 2025, I actually only wanted to record one podcast. So not necessarily starting my own channel, but perhaps I'm on someone else's podcast or whatnot. So I just wanted the experience. But that, one thing led to another. And today, in 2025 itself, I have managed to record 15 or 16 podcasts, and that's amazing. And I didn't realize that, there was so much that I could get out of my friends. So many people have different stories, and I really want them to talk so that somewhat all of their opinions and advice gets documented somewhere. So I feel like, I really resonate with like what you said earlier on. And the second one was you mentioned about journaling. And I thought that's something that is really close to my heart as well, because, throughout the past years, I've also been like journaling in one way or another, perhaps through different, not necessarily through writing diary entries, but sometimes through my photos, through my poems. One of my top achievements from last year was I managed to put together like a poetry collection that is entirely made out of old poems that were written between 2014 and 2020 or 2021. So that manuscript itself was actually created back in 2021 when I was still in the UK, and I have always wanted to turn it into like a poetry collection, but I just never really had the time. Last month in December, I was gonna give out on this project already, but because I couldn't find the time to work on this, but then I really pushed myself to put them together. So now it's actually ready in soft copy. I've already got all the photos and the designs all together. It's kind of like ready for printing actually. Just now you mentioned something unexpected. I want to talk about something that is slightly unexpected for me as well. So to be fair, for somebody who has the goals listed out, all my adventures are kind of like pre-planned early in the year, but then like there's very little room for surprises. But what I would like to share is basically me interviewing someone prominent last month when I went to Langkawi. Okay, so the room for surprise would be I only told myself I need to interview someone prominent, but I never really say what I didn't really say who it would be because I don't know. So that is like to some extent my recipe who I will be able to meet that is so-called prominent enough. So last month I went to Langkawi, and I so happened to had the chance to meet a Malaysian actress that has an acting career in Singapore. So her name is Jessica Liu. She's in a lot of different TV series that I watched when I was younger, because I'm based in JB, so we used to watch Singaporean dramas. She has an incredible acting portfolio, amazing work there, and I get to sit down and have tea with her, and I asked her a lot of questions about her acting career. So that was something really unexpected, because I was thinking, it was already December, and I was thinking whether or not I'll still be able to do that. And yet, in the last month, I managed. To some extent, there was some room of surprises there. Fourth, I think you mentioned something about achieving your dream, something that you wanted. For me, I managed to do something that I have been wanting to since 2023, which is getting a free diving license. Yeah, so free diving is basically diving without oxygen tank. That is another sport which is better known as scuba diving. But earlier this year, back in May, I actually went to Tenggol to get my diving license, and it's incredible to be in water without any sort of equipment at all, because it kind of focuses more on your breathing and your certain other techniques that can help you last longer in water. And last one, okay, so this one probably didn't match yours that much, but last one is basically just me being able to observe Hari Raya Haji ritual. So that is something that I have been wanting to, because I'm so curious about what happens when it comes to like the ritual in sacrificing an animal, right?
Yeah.
So that was something that I've been wanting to witness for myself, because it's a thing in Malaysia. It's a public holiday. It happens all across the country where different animal gets sacrificed at the mosque. But it's kind of like if you're non-Muslim, you don't really get exposed to opportunities to how it actually happens on site. Yeah, so I got the chance to go and see that.
I just want to take a few moments to reflect on whatever you just said. And I think you did such an amazing job in 2025 compared to me. there's a few things that, as a friend, from whatever you just said, like, I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
There's so many. So like the first one is like, poetry. That's something, guys, check it out, because Euan has been doing that since our university days. So congratulations on having that new collection. And then actress, like a prominent figure. Wow, you've reached another milestone for your podcasting career. No, just joking.
Actually, sadly, I didn't do a podcast with her. It was just like
okay,
a conversation. And that itself is
meaningful
already, because I was able to squeeze in a bit. I don't want to make it sound so much like I am interviewing her, because I don't want her to feel like, oh, she's working. You know? So I just want it to be very casual. So I only feed in quite a number of questions about her experience as an actress, and not so much on the whole thing being me drilling information out of her.
Yeah. I'm sure that's going to be a memory that stays with you for a very long time.
It will.
Because you were saying like you grew up watching her.
Yes.
Yeah. Fanboy moment.
Yes.
And then there were other bits like free diving license. I mean, I hear like Euan sharing, and I do see his pictures and everything. So seeing him sharing personally like what he has gone through that 2025 and achieved that's really fantastic. And the last one, as a Muslim, very good. Witness that cultural thing about Hari Raya Haji. I think it's so important, no matter what your race is, to really understand the reason behind why people do such things.
Especially in Malaysia as a country where so many different cultures happen at the same time. It's kind of like, I think it's a thing that I do, like 2 years ago, 2023, I went to see how Thaipusam was celebrated at Batu Caves. And then, so 2024, I went to Sarawak to see how Gawai is celebrated. And 2025 was Hari Raya Haji. So I'm thinking, what's next for 2026?
That's a good one. Oh my god, like you just made me think, now that I'm back, I need to tick all of that. That's a good inspiration.
I'm sure you have the chance. Good job to both of us.
Yay!
Somehow.
For 2025, we've done well.
Yes. So now, moving into 2026, I love hearing how people reflect on like their 2025 achievements, because it kind of pushes us to look back and think, what went right, what went wrong, what was by luck and what wasn't by luck. Maybe me interviewing someone prominent was kind of by luck. And to what extent should I allow myself to continue so-called doing it by luck for this upcoming year, or should I avoid doing it that way so that I can make sure it's achieved, so it's not so much dependent on luck. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Honestly, like I feel if it's your luck, then just embrace it.
Yeah.
Because not everyone is able to meet that prominent person. So I think it was meant for you. For me, like Islam, right? Like I think of it as, if it's meant for you, it will be for you. Like whatever happens, God will just bring it to you. So I'll embrace it and I bersyukur.
Okay, that's a good one. So that also means that, sometimes to some extent we also have to keep goals with rooms for surprises for ourselves. So there is still some extent of excitement.
Yeah, for sure. Because like life, right? You live life, you obviously still need surprises. And some things that you can create those surprises, but some just let God like bring it to you. And even if you are expecting a surprise and it doesn't come, doesn't mean that you are unlucky or you're not as lucky as others. It's just that your time hasn't come, and that is fine.
Like what they say, like, perhaps there are other plans for you. The universe has better plans for you.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's go into what we target for 2026.
Hopefully it's more achievable.
I mean, actually, that's a good point, because I realized some of the goals that I set for 2025, they were either vague or they were not necessarily, as in like very hard to measure whether or not it has been achieved or not.
Right.
Non-measurable. That's why when I was doing my 2026 goals, I try my best to keep it to, is that something that I can practically achieve?
Yeah.
How do I measure that success? Like, is it like I have to get something done 3 times in a row?
Okay, that makes me think like hopefully my 2026 goals are measurable. We'll see.
Before we start, just to let everybody know, we actually sort of pre-planned how we want to categorize our goals for 2026. This year, we have 5 different categories. That would be first, conventional, which is more about career, our finances. Second one would be health, which is both physical and also mental well-being. Third is adventure, whether or not we are boundary pushing ourselves. Fourth would be creative, which is artistic or any special skill-based development. And the last one is social, which is more of relationship and also network. The reason why we do that is so that we are able to ensure that we have goals in each category. This year, we have also decided to only do 3 goals for each category, meaning in total, only 15. Less number of goals means better focus.
Sure. I think it's a better way of approaching it because like we have so much going on in our lives, and then if you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, then there's no purpose. But now that we've focused on just specific areas, I think it's good.
I think it's good growth, because like from previous year we had 25, this year we have 15, and eventually the list will go shorter. But it also means that we are pushing ourselves towards better focused and bigger goals. Shall we start?
Yeah, sure. Come on, let's do it. I'll first talk about my conventional then, like the first 3, and then Euan can pick it up.
Yep.
So the first one is I want to secure a job in Singapore. Yeah, because now that I'm back in Malaysia, I'm actually finishing up my ACCA papers. In the meantime, I'm actively seeking for jobs right now, and my main area is Singapore. And the reason why is because, it's very close to home, job prospect-wise is good, it's international. The second one is, depending on whether I'm in Singapore or Malaysia, I hope to earn at least 8K. I don't know whether that might be a bit hard in Malaysia, but if let's say I'm in Singapore, that is 100% achievable with the exchange rate. And then save like at least 2K a month. And then the last one for my conventional, saving enough to hopefully buy my own car. And that also depends where I am. If it's
Singapore
Malaysia,
a bit hard.
Singapore, I can just use public transport. Why do I need a car?
Yep.
So, but most of all, I think I just want to practice like saving, because right now, because I'm a full-time student, it's been really difficult. That there's been a career pause. So I'm hoping that 2026 will be the year for me, and I can always get back to where I was.
Okay, amazing. I think quite practical and quite reasonable, your goals. And hopefully, if you manage to get a job in Singapore, that would be giving you a different experience as well, because you have experienced how it's like in the UK, you have experienced how it's like in Malaysia. Singapore will then provide a very different, somewhat similar culture, but different working environment, and that is going to like train you in a different sense.
That's for sure. Yeah, more resilient.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you.
For me, I think for my career and finances, 2 of my goals that I listed is actually more of like development. So first, I wanted to complete at least 2 work-related courses. And second, I want to expand my toolkit to at least 1 more econometric model. Okay, the reason why I say this is because I think 2026 will be a very important year for my own career development. And I want to also see myself getting developed into having more technical skills that would complement my work. Because I'm currently working in econs field, and if I am able to pick up more toolkits, especially in econometrics, it would be really, really helpful. Last year, I did manage to go on a number of courses, and I did manage to pick up an econometric skill called nowcasting, which is very, very interesting. So like this year is kind of time for me to push myself even more to pick up more so I can do more. Just now you also mentioned a lot about saving, and I do agree. As much as we want to earn money, want to spend money, we also want to see myself saving for our future. Goal that I have previously shared in 2025, I'm also thinking of making voluntary EPF contribution by around 15K. So that itself kind of like pushes me to save up for my retirement savings.
I think that's so important, especially like if we don't start early, then we are missing out on the years that we are able to save. And that just compounds, right? Like savings. And we don't want to be stressing about, later in the years, how we're going to retire. All right, so I'll move on then to health. So the health part was about physical and mental well-being. And for me, for physical, I want to start swimming at least 3 times a week. So just a background, right? Like I used to swim a lot when I was younger, but then like I started to focus too much on studies, and I went overseas, so I kind of dropped that. But I think I really want to actively try swimming again, because I had a period when I came back to Malaysia that I was trying to find a hobby that I like. And honestly, like nothing really suits me. So I'm still like trying to find what I like. So I'm hoping swimming will be that. The second one for physical would be to stay fit, like minus 4 kg in weight. Not only that, just eating healthy. So at least 1 fruit or veggie daily. And then the last one for mental well-being, I think I just want to be closer to God. So I wrote here like cite the Quran at least 30 minutes daily. Even though that sounds very small, but I feel like just putting in some time a day to be closer to God, that really helps my mental well-being. You know, with me getting older, before I settle down, I think I just want to strengthen my relationship with God, and I feel this year I can do that.
Amazing. Okay, I think I like that because like we have to recognize that everyone find their own ways to calm themselves.
Yeah.
It's a bit like giving yourself time for meditation. Yeah. So we all need time to sort of help reorganize our thoughts. We need time to sort of like come down and reflect. Oh, you know what has happened yesterday? What am I gonna do today? Sometimes it helps us with clearing our minds and stuff. So I feel like you giving yourself that as a goal sounds like it will really help you.
Thank you. Yeah. And I like your idea about how like everyone manages themselves differently.
Yeah.
That's such a good point because like everyone's different. You might be doing like other things like journaling or whatsoever. So that's a great way of putting it.
I think that came from like me realizing that my friends all have different hobbies and me wanting to understand, you know, why they find it stress relieving if they do things that are different from what I find stress relieving.
But that's a green flag, right? Because like you're being empathetic and you are accepting of what other people are. So that's good. Yeah.
Also on like on the note of trying to exercise more, I'm setting this target where for at least 20 days per month, I need to work out at least 40 minutes each day. Sometimes you think about it, like it's not that hard to squeeze out 45 minutes within a day. So I'm trying to commit to that. So far, for the first 3 days of 2026, I have managed to keep up. But I'm hoping that this will last for the whole year. I really want to see myself exercising more. Last year, it has been a bit up and down, not really consistent, and that shouldn't be the way. And my other 2 points are mental well-being related. So first is I want to go on 15 full offline days. So last year I managed 5 days without the internet, and this year I'm upping that goal to 15 days because I have to admit that I'm actually quite addicted to my phone and I'm always online and I'm always like, okay, who's gonna text me? But actually nobody's texting me. The idea that, you know, I want myself to be away from all of these distractions and really be present in my surroundings. Yeah. And the last one is basically to go on like monthly art therapy sessions. Okay, but I don't say this as me trying to develop myself creatively. So I go paint by the river, but it's more like I want to allocate time for myself to sit somewhere and only have one activity to focus on that is creative, so that that itself is a very therapeutic session that I have in myself.
I think it's very inspiring. Do you know why? First one, right, you say about it's not hard to do 40 minutes a day. If we think about like, we won't even have a second take when it comes to social media. Like I can spend like 5 hours. Like what is 40 minutes, right? But like when it comes to other things that before internet came, we were doing it daily, like exercising or even, I don't know, spending time with family or friends. Right now to us in this day and age, it's a bit hard, right? Honestly, that will test a lot your discipline, and I'm sure if you achieve that, it will inspire so many people. The second one, the offline thing, I did have a thing like, should I write this down? But I don't know whether I could trust myself to do it.
To be fair, I've not actually come up with like some principles because last year when I was doing it, I was thinking, okay, maybe let's say 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. everything should stop, but anything outside and like WhatsApp and emails are still accessible. It's just so that we can like, in case of any emergency, in case of any work-related emails or messages that you have to reply.
Honestly, just the thought of you wanting to do it, it takes a lot of like courage and discipline, I say, because not everyone is able to battle that with themselves. Like right now, I think it's just our addiction to our phones and social media. You know, we just don't want to, the fear of missing out, I guess. Like everyone has that fear. I'm very excited for you on this journey. And the last one you said, right, about focusing on just one activity. And that is just related to also being offline because your goal is just to be more present in your own life and not just like through the lens of cameras or other people. You just want to focus on what you're seeing now and just be present. So that's really good. So for adventure, we are thinking about boundary pushing. My first one about adventure is going on a solo or girls trip to Vietnam. And like 3 cities in Vietnam.
Oh, which 3 cities are those?
I kind of forgot. But like the 3 main ones, like the famous ones.
Ho Chi Minh, Da Nang, Hanoi. They're kind of far away, by the way.
Yeah, okay, to be fair, right, kind of chat GPT, they said like you need, obviously need to take a flight, but chat GPT says it's cheap. So I don't know what it means by cheap in what currency. I'm excited for that. I think solo is definitely achievable because like, I'm a big fan of solo and
Recently went to Taiwan alone.
yes, yes. But girls trip, I actually haven't had this before, so I'm really hope to achieve it through a girls trip to Vietnam, and I think it'll be really really fun. It's going to be difficult because everyone's working, everyone has their own schedules, but we'll see how. The second one that I have is start driving again. So if you know me personally, right, I have a driver's license, but like because I went to the UK, so after I got it, I didn't really practice. So now that I'm back, after my ACCI, I really want to start driving. If I'm sent to Singapore, then that's a different story, but I'll try. And then the last one is, I think Euan and Ying Ying is able to help me out on this. Try camping overnight.
Oh,
this is really boundary pushing.
Yeah.
Because like, if you know me, I'm like such a princess eagle. Like I need aircon and oh my god, I hate to sweat. So this, wow, if really, right, I can survive just one night, right?
You can do everything. You can do anything.
Yeah, hey, but guys, don't have the image of me like I'm so princessy. I don't do. Hey, I can carry big stuff. Like I don't need a man, But it's just when it comes to sweat, right? I just don't like to sweat. So
I love that all three goals seem so exciting, to be honest. Because comparing to mine is kind of like, oh, there are already things that I do. I'm just trying to push myself to do more.
But that's still boundary pushing.
This is true. I think I love how your goals are also somewhat like, it's very in tune with like what people do at our age. Because like I see a lot of my friends, for example, they are also getting into camping. They are also going on trips with friends and stuff. So I think that's
relatable.
Very relatable. Yeah, very relatable. On my end, the goals that I have is I want to do 2 large expeditions. Okay, to be fair, last year also I had like 2 expeditions. That's why I said mine is kind of like an extension of what I did last year. I want myself to continue. I have not decided what large expeditions were, but last year I went to Taman Negara for 20 km trekking, and also I went to hike the Mulu Pinnacles, which was not easy. So this year I just want to continue going for 2 large big things. And then I want myself to visit 10 waterfalls. Because last year I've been hiking here and there, and then I realized I really love hikes with water elements. So I want to go to more waterfalls, especially around KL Selangor, because there are many options.
Yeah.
And then last one is a bit boundary pushing, adventurous. So I want to do 1 full marathon and 1 half marathon. The thing about it was 2023, I did my first half marathon. 2024, I did 1 full marathon. And then 2025 was, I did 2 separate half marathons. So this year, by right, it should be 1 half and 1 full.
Yeah.
Oh, then next year is 2 full. No. Next year, we might have different goals already, and then we want different exercises.
Okay, you push more on that goal.
We'll see. And in fact, one of my boss at work, he is also a runner. And then he realized that, I also have this interest in running. And then he has been inviting me to go on marathons with him as well. So it's going to be fun doing that with a colleague, like a boss actually.
Yeah, very exciting also, I would like to say about your goals. So there's a few things, right? Like I just want to touch on. I like how you were putting this category as something that you're pushing yourself more from last year. Like the few that you've mentioned is, you did the 2 expedition. Now you want to be more intensive and more challenging for yourself. I like how you said like you reflected on, you've done so many hiking in 2025, right? And you realize that you love the trails that have like water elements around it. So you're sticking to what you like and want to explore from there. So that's another good one. And the last one about marathons, I wish you luck, because maybe in the very far future I will think of this. But if not, that is so good.
That's also one of the things that I think a lot of people our age are going into.
Yeah,
so many people doing marathons.
But to be honest, right, when I see people posting, right, I'm so like, like my toxic trait is that I can do it also.
You ever feel FOMO seeing people posting about it?
Yeah, for sure.
Another thing is diving,
Diving, I better do my swimming first.
Yes.
It's like, I can also do that. But obviously that is easier said than done. I like how you're saying like your boss is also, having the same interest. That's such a good way of you, connecting with others. outside of work
Yeah.
and just improving our relationship through like a certain interest. Second last section that we have is about creativity. This category is we want to focus on artistic and skill-based development. So what's on my list is, well, I want to secure at least one modeling photo shoot or advertisement. Okay, backstory, right? I did advertisement, but I was so young. I was probably 12. I don't even look like that anymore. I don't know, 2025, right? Like after my career path kind of changed and it made me some time to reflect on what I truly like. I realized I love like skincare and just like being pretty on camera and stuff. So after my ACC, I really want to go for like modeling agency castings and just try my luck. And if it doesn't, it's fine. But I hope this can be achieved one day. Maybe just a photo shoot with a friend or advertisement. And then the other one is like try pottery making or pottery painting. So something like, you know, people our age also do, right? Yeah.
This one may be less popular.
Really? Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. So this one, and then the last one is learn and practice investing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's easy for you to like, what is investing? Like, how you invest, ask people, but do I practice? No, not yet. So I really hope like I actively practice this. And I think it comes from me trying to understand. Because I've talked to a few people, but I still don't understand.
Okay.
So
I think maybe that's one of the things that you have to learn on the job itself. So like you have to test it out. You have to lose a bit of money. But that being said, it's kind of like you put aside a small amount that you are willing to lose in the first place, and you use it as a model where you test out, how does this, higher risk portfolios and lower risk portfolio, and you see how it goes from there. But I think this is such an important thing. I'm not putting enough effort into that kind of stuff, but I do think that's such important skill to pick up.
Yeah, what you've made is such a good point. I need to overcome that fear because like I think I'm a very risk-averse person. So like some people are willing to take the risk. This year is a time for me to truly understand myself. Like, am I willing? If not, like, there's definitely other ways that I can earn money. Yeah.
I'm sure. Like who knows, your modeling career will take off, and then that will be one way to make money.
I want the freebies. Save so much. You will just get.
I feel you. I feel that maybe that's one of the things that I can sort of like. Let me see if I can put a few strings so that you can at least get a photo shoot.
Oh my god!
Crossed off the list.
Oh my god! Yes, please.
I also know my friend. Actually, last year I attended his runway show at the Mercedes-Benz fashion week, and it was so cool seeing people on the runway in real life for the first time. And then I saw that one of the fashion designer, his show was like all female models. Yeah, so maybe it's like avenues like that, connections like that might bring you opportunities. Let me see what I can do.
But then I'm a bit under the height requirement. Okay, so when I say modeling photo shoot, it's like face model.
I get it. Okay. I understand that because I did a bit of that when I was in the UK, right? Yeah. So let's see. It's okay. I'll think of connections that may be able to help, so that there are different people doing different stuff, right? And I loved how just now you wanted to do pottery. I think I actually experienced that when I was in Vietnam, but it was just for like a very small project. Recently, quite a number of my friends actually were also in Langkawi, and then they actually took a pottery session. So that seemed quite fun over there. But I'm sure Malaysia, KL surely has like other opportunities as well. Maybe I'll let you know when I find something. Creative, right? I wanted to make a special kueh of food every month. Okay, that's something that I've been wanting to do with my girlfriend. So we sometimes do make a special kueh or a special fruit. So now I just want to keep it like more of a routine. So every month we think of something special and we do it. Second one is I want to attend 3 life skill courses. So it's either I pick up a new skill or like go on a refresher course. That is a bit like, for example, if I can learn a language, I've always been wanting to learn like musical instruments and stuff. And there are some courses that I need to, and I want to see myself re-picking up as well. For example, being able to drive a manual car, basic first aid. Okay, to be fair, if it kind of goes into that specifics, then it won't necessarily fit under the creative category. That's right, which is why I'm keeping it general now, which is 3 life skill courses. The third one would be house interior design execution. The reason why I say this is because last year I actually got a place. So then the place will be ready in hopefully 3rd quarter this year. And so then when it becomes ready, then it will be a series of like deciding on how to renovate the place, interior design, and planning and the execution of all of this. So then it's gonna cost a fortune, but it's gonna be another phase in life that I have to go through, and I want to do it creatively. yeah, I'm excited to see how like my house will turn out to be.
Are you going to document that? I think that's quite a good process. Like, are you going to like manually be doing it, or it's just?
I'll be paying somebody to do it,
Oh.
but we shall see because I've not actually started the research.
Yeah, and you can always take part and like paint it
For the gram.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. You're going offline, right?
Yes.
Meeting lah. We can meeting. Yeah. Honestly, so cool because like creative, right? When you said Kueh, it reminded me of our Warwick days.
Yeah.
Because we used to do like, try out new things. Like you were always like kind of ajak us go
Yes.
and do that. It brings back memories. And
I'm
then
adventurous in that sense.
yeah, you are very adventurous. And then instrument. Which instrument would you be thinking?
If I do instruments, then maybe the guitar will be the easiest
Mm.
because also I do have like a slightly smaller guitar that I can use now, so like it's something that I can do. But I've been finding it hard because like it takes extra time to practice.
Yeah.
And perhaps because before this I've been learning from YouTube here and there, so I don't get proper guidance. There's no easier way to do it. Maybe I should go for lessons.
Yeah, do you know there's an app called Quest?
Oh, no, I don't.
If you can put the quest meaning, right, the work task, and then you decide the price. You say like someone teach a guitar, you put the price, a lot of offers will come. And some people even do this, they say they exchange. You teach me guitar, I teach you swimming.
I see.
So you can explore that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can achieve your Taylor Swift.
Oh, that's the plan.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
So for my social, right, I was going to say like, I want to do like try going on one date after ACCA. And then the other two is about meeting 2 to 3 new people related to maybe my NGO that I really want to pursue next time, or podcast related.
2 to 3 only. No. Okay, we look at quality, not quantity.
Yes, sure. And then the last one is make at least 3 new close friends in Singapore. How about you?
I think in terms of like social, one is I want to record 2 podcasts per month. So the reason why I put this under the social category is because to some extent, I kind of look at my podcast session as me catching out with friends, or like me getting to know about each other, or like me basically venturing into other people's brains. So I kind of look at it like it's a social thing. So I want to do like 2 podcasts per month where I get to speak to different people in a way of like having that conversations with them. Second is I want to attend at least 10 networking events. So regardless whether or not it's kind of like for my career, for social, NGO, or like advocacy and whatnot, I want to attend 10 events that can give me opportunities to meet people that are not already part of my circle. Because I do see one of the things that we have at this age is we go back to the same group over and over again. Not complaining, not saying that it's bad. It's just that sometimes I do feel like there are a lot more to explore out there, and I want to meet people who might or might not expand my horizon. Last one is I want to reconnect with at least 3 friends. Okay, I think this is so important because like I feel like after every stage of my life, I do sort of like I move on, and I don't necessarily properly reconnect with my friends, or like we don't really keep in touch with everybody. But I feel like I want to put in an effort to reconnect with at least 3 friends who perhaps due to different circumstances, different geography, we have not really kept in touch as much.
Reconnecting with friends, like, honestly, it's such a different feeling. Everyone goes on with their own life, and when you reconnect, you think back, okay, how far you've come and all. So all the best to you. When you were commenting about reconnecting with friends, is it thank you next? That kind of feeling, you're like, bye.
I feel like to some extent, maybe in the past, I might have had that like after primary school, okay, next. Let's go somewhere else, we start again. And then secondary school, college, then uni, then it's like every stage, to some extent, there's a bit of that. Yeah. And I think nowadays it's not easy to properly sort of like keep that connection with everybody. Yeah. And to some extent, our circle is very much influenced by, as in like, because you do spend a lot of time in office. So your friends become people that you work with. Unless you properly make time to meet people that is not from work and don't necessarily live near you, then that kind of friendship, it requires that kind of effort to maintain. Yeah. And sometimes it's just kind of like, oh, you don't see each other. So unless you see each other on social media, if not, you really just don't see each other. So that's also an effort for both parties to be out there on social media. Yeah.
That's a very valid point, because now that I think back when, in my past career, those friendships that I made in the UK were mainly from either my company or networking events. And because like in London, we kind of stay around each other anyway. So that was able to sustain. Interesting.
I love that you're giving yourself another opportunity to, like, even after SCCA, and then you go on a date, and you giving yourself that allowance to test different things again.
Test out the water.
Yeah. It's great that you still get your priorities right, which is ACCA. Then only you allow yourself to do that. Because I do know people who sort of, despite ACCA, been putting themselves out there to meet people anyway.
I think my parents will come after me. I feel like such a fruitful reflection for the 2025 and very good and powerful goals that we've made for 2026 from each of us. What do you think?
I totally agree. I feel like this one gives me flashbacks on when we did our goal setting in 2025. And at that time, we were still in the UK. It's very refreshing again, but we shall see 1 year later to what extent all of these goals that we set now actually get materialized. Hopefully, as many as possible.
And I hope the energy stays the same when we're in 2027.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember when we were doing 2025, we were doing online, and now we are in person together. So it's such a different feeling. And it's nice to see how much we've both grown from the way we've talked and the types of goals that we want to achieve. So that's great.
Very exciting for both you and I.
Yeah.
And we shall see how it goes. So everybody should, follow us on Instagram, on Spotify, and who knows, maybe in 1 year's time, we'll be able to make another episode reviewing how well we did for all of these goals. And with that said, please subscribe to my podcast, Expansive Thoughts.
And also Better You Podcast.
Yes, we're both on Spotify and Instagram. Okay, thank you, Bashisha, for being the guest for another very exciting episode.
Thank you for having me here today. And Happy New Year to all of you. And write down your 2026 goals, and I'm sure you'll do great this year.
Yes. See you guys next time.
Stay tuned. Bye.